So, Mohammed, tell me, what is an asset?
It's a funny question. What is an asset? Many people think an asset is a property, like an apartment, a house, a villa, i.e., they think an asset is something immovable. An asset is something you own. It can be a car.
Right.
It could be an expensive painting. It could be a Bitcoin account. It could be a bank account. It could be a locker account. Whatever you own, it's an asset. Even if you have life insurance, it's an asset. But I know assets are in different categories where you have fixed assets and movable, immovable, you have tangible assets. But
Sure.
an asset is technically something you own.
Sure. So I guess what would I have to do? I'd have to list my assets, I guess.
Exactly. It's very important not only listing it, but sharing this with somebody and updating it.
Okay. So why is it so important to list and to make people aware of these assets? Because I might want to keep it a secret, mightn't I?
Many people want to do that. Problem is, if after death, the secret goes to the grave,
Right.
how are we going to locate the assets?
Yep. It's a good point, but I also see it, I guess, from a sort of consumer's perspective, thinking, is it safe to tell people what assets I've actually got?
Let's say, for example, you have a bank account. Now, I'm not interested in what's in the account, but we need to know you have an account with a bank.
Sure.
So you're banking with NatWest, write down the account number and the name of the bank. But you don't need to write down what's in the account because that's going to keep changing. But think about it, Faisal. When somebody passes away, how will that person know you got an account with NatWest if you don't tell the family?
Agree. And but I suppose it's a tough one, isn't it? Because if that person wanted others to know, I guess they would have told them.
Agreed. I just feel like people, I understand, they don't want to tell the family
Sure.
due to X, Y, Z reasons. But when I'm dealing with a death case and, someone sort of gives me the will or give me a document or say, look, can you deal with it? The first question I'm going to ask the family, the widow, what did your husband own? And then she'll be scratching her head and telling me, he never told me. Now, where do I begin?
Sure.
Let's say we even try to get some of the information. Can you always be 100% sure you've got all the money, all the information? The answer is no. That's why
Sure.
there's so much money in the world unclaimed, because no one knows the money's there in the first place. So
Okay.
to answer your question, what is an asset? An asset is something you own. Write it down, share it, and update it.
Okay, so we write it down. I think, what you say makes perfect sense. And, it's obvious actually when you think about it. So I've made the list and I've really racked my brain. I've got it all down on a piece of paper. What do I do with that piece of paper now?
Give it to someone. Make sure it's accessible. I mean, I'll give you one example. Somebody came to me with a laptop and said, all my husband's financial data is in the laptop. But she didn't know the password.
Wow.
And she brought the laptop to my office and asked me, can you sort of hack into this laptop? And I said, what do you think? I'm a computer hacker. Go and get someone to do it. It's been more than 5 years now. The poor woman can't get the information. And she just going from pillar to post, checking with friends, work people, bank statements, whatever she can get her hands on, just to try and get the information.
So you're honestly saying that her whole future and well-being rests on not being able to get into this laptop?
Well, in that case, yes, sorry to say.
Wow.
Why the husband didn't give the password of the laptop to the wife, I don't know. He's dead. And the poor wife can't get the information. That's why I tell people, make a list. Keep it simple, stupid.
Sure.
KISS.
Yep.
That's what I tell people. Just keep it simple. I understand. I know there are people out there who don't want to give the information due to trust reasons or what have you, but there must be someone. There
Sure.
must be someone they can trust. But then, like I told you, if you have an account in the bank, you don't need to write down how much is in the account.
Sure.
At least let somebody know you've got the account.
Yeah, it absolutely makes perfect sense. And I think, when you've got that fear of, should I tell, God forbid, my wife, my husband, that I've got these assets and the perceived problems that might come with that, I suppose the other side to that is if you say nothing, then, it will just disintegrate in...
I agree it's a double-edged sword. I
Yep.
completely agree. But then let's let's look at it from a unbiased sort of angle. Do you want that bank? Do you want the money to stay in the bank, or do you want it going to someone?
Well, you don't want your loved ones to suffer at the end of the day, and I think that's probably
what is happening. I mean, I know it's not planned. I know people are not doing this deliberately, but this is what's going on.
And do you find that's happening more and more?
Yes. And it's not here in the UK. This is a global issue. There are millions, if not billions, of sterling, dollars, euros sitting in banks. I mean, I remember reading an article, one of the top insurance companies in India, they wrote an article, said they have tens of thousands of policies that people haven't even claimed the money yet.
Wow.
And do you really think the insurance company is going to go on a witch hunt to start looking for legal heirs?
Sure.
They're not going to do it. That's why they will just keep the money eventually.
Okay. So our message is swallow your pride, bite your lip, put a list together, share it with somebody, and make sure, God forbid, if the worst happens, someone has the knowledge to be able to access those assets and make sure they go to the right person.
Exactly. I mean, I just want to share some good news. We're working on a system that this will work. In other words, we are working on a system that information will be shared to anyone. So this is something I tell viewers, if they can, sort of leave their details or just come onto our Facebook page.
Sure.
We would be sending an article or sending a note very soon that we're building a platform where information can be shared after death.
Right. Okay.
To the family.
Okay.
So that information will be shared, but at least they know it's going to be after death as opposed to during their lifetime.
Okay, so that's something your company is going to be developing.
Yes.
So it's a case of watch this space.
Exactly.
And are you already taking inquiries to such a service?
Yes.
Okay, good. Well, that's great. Well, on this video, there'll be your contact details anyway.
That's right.
So if somebody's interested in solving all of their problems then and working with you guys on your platform, did you say?
That's right.
Then I'm sure that's something for everyone to look forward to.
Perfect.
Okay, Mohammed, well, thank you very much indeed for clarifying that. I hope all of you found this useful in terms of what is an asset and why it's important to identify the assets. And I think we've got a few more videos to come. So thank you very much indeed, Mohammed, for this important topic.
Thank you, Faisal.